it's not just politics, it's about death of 16 people. I saw something in people which I have never seen before.
Children's toys and candles on the ground in Novi Sad, Serbia. The city's railway station is now a place of remembrance. There are 16 black pieces of paper on the cordons. They represent the 16 victims who lost their lives here on November 1st, 2024, after the roof structure of the railway station collapsed, killing several people. The tragedy was followed by a wave of social change. Our film is about the solidarity and protest that call for answers and responsibility. It will be difficult to summarize the past year in a few minutes, so now here are some personal stories from the past period.
People sending me messages, are you in Novi Sad, are you okay? It took me a lot of time to get out of my head that 16 people didn't answer on that message.
The second season of the Sons of the Balkan series is now reporting from Serbia. The modernization of the Serbian section of the Budapest-Belgrade railway line was one of the flagship investments of the past decade in the Balkan country. The renovation was mostly carried out by Chinese companies. The project involved more than just the reconstruction of the railway track. The investment also included the renovation of the Novi Sad railway station, which was built in 1964. For more than a half-century, the square featured the building's characteristic shape and unique interior designed by Imre Farkas, and the railway station was a symbol of Novi Sad for generations. Half a century later, the station had fallen into serious condition due to ongoing neglect. 60 years later, on November 1st, 2024, everything had changed for the station and for the everyday lives of Serbian people. The roof structure of the entrance suddenly collapsed, and the tragedy caused nationwide outrage. Protests broke out almost immediately in Serbia. The authorities first defended themselves by saying that the collapsed structure was not part of the renovation. However, this explanation was met with heated debate by the public, as the project had previously been communicated as a complete renovation of the station. After the tragedy, a series of protests led by university students and young people broke out. Crowds took the streets, blocking bridges and intersections. The protesters called for a transparent investigation, accountability, and an end to corruption. The police used force to break up crowds on several occasions. A year has passed. Protests are still a daily reality in Serbia. During our filming, we came across a roadblock involving hundreds of people. The question remains the same. Who is responsible for deaths of 16 people? In search of answers, we followed the stories of students, journalists and citizens. Milica Mihailovic is 22 years old. She works as a journalist and is the editor and host of several podcasts. She focuses on the facts and on providing professional, flawless reporting. However, the events also changed her personal life.
Well, everything has changed. I mean, I didn't go to college and I didn't attend classes and I didn't take exams for 10 months. So I think that's the biggest change. I saw something in people which I have never seen before. And it's a big strength to face with all the problems that this regime brought us. I think that I'm mainly a journalist in this situation, but I can't erase my identity of being a student. So I think that this format, which I had chosen, the narrative podcast, is great for this situation because I can be a journalist and a student as well, but also I think that there are some limits that should be respected. For example, I always go to protests as a journalist and as a reporter. I don't go there to protest, I go there to report. So I think that that's the line I shouldn't cross. When I do my podcast, I have the opportunity to express my feelings and attitudes as well. But of course, because I collaborate with a couple of media, when I write news, for example, or some articles, I don't act in that writing and in the preparation for that article the same as I do with my podcast. So I do that in two different ways because those are the different formats, and I want to respect the format.
We also asked Milica Mihajlovic about the possible reasons behind the persistent, ongoing protests that have been going on for a year.
I think that people were tired of everything that has been happening in Serbia, and people actually waited for something or for someone to give them strength to fight against everything that has been happening. When you see someone young, I'm young too, but I guess you have to wake up and you have to say it's enough. And I mean, that's my opinion. People just feel tired and they needed students to wake them up. This really brought people together, and I think that it's the biggest change and maybe the change we needed the most, because it's really some basic stuff. And when you build relationships with people around you and when people in your country, that's where the political changes can start too. I think that people who support this and who are included in the protests will go to the end, because they faced a lot of challenges. They faced a lot of threats, physical violence, and really some horrible things that regime used to stop this. Maybe it's a big word, but revolution, I would say. And the regime didn't succeed in that. So I think that it wouldn't be over. I think that everyone will try to stay focused and to continue in making Serbia more democratic and a better place for living.
In recent months, protests have continued in several cities. The center of demonstrations is Novi Sad, which is our next destination. Here we met Jelena Rudakiewicz. She previously worked as a journalist at O Radio, which we featured in our previous season, but in recent years she has become increasingly active in civil and student movements. She is a member of Svice, an organization made up of young people. The name has double meaning. In Serbian it means both sunrise and everyone will, like a promise that everyone will do something.
One of the idea and our vision, what we are gathering people around and mobilize and doing things, our vision is actually people in Serbia to be politically responsible and citizen disobedience when the law start to not working for the people, when they start to work against the people. And also I have to explain, because there is a lot of mixed definition of what citizen disobedience means. For us and for our group, it means different kinds of creative, non-violent, mostly street actions that leads to some sort of a change in behavior of the people, in the conscience of the people, but they're all leading to being politically responsible and changing the things in the government, in the laws, ideally in the constitution also if they do not work for the people in that state. We who found the Sviće, we who start doing these things, we known each other for years mostly from the media, from the civil sector. The biggest success for me as a part of Sviće is that we now, like 2 years, 2.5 after we were working on the streets and those kinds of things, noticing that now we have political responsibility and citizen disobedience actually in Serbia every single day somewhere.
Jelena also spoke about the protests over the past year. She said that she was personally affected by the tragedy. On the day of the accident, she was preparing to travel to Belgrade.
From the beginning of the last year, since 1st of November, Novi Sad and still is the biggest issue and problem of the government, because here it started, here it happens, and I think none of the other cities, which is normal, cannot feel that kind. They feel, but the level of rage, of pain, of remembers every time you walk on the street, every time you go to the railway station, how you feel about your city, how you feel about how can easily somebody ruin your life in your city, take your life, is a constant remember in Novi Sad. And I can clearly remember when we started, it took me 2 months to stop coming home and cry because of the people. I'm all feisty on the street at that time. And then you come back home and you are thinking, this could be me. And actually it could be me, because I bought a ticket for that train to that time to went to the Belgrade. And I'm a huge sleeper, I'm always late, and that was the only thing that I didn't enter that train. And I remember people sending me messages, are you in Novi Sad, are you okay? It took me a lot of time to get out of my head that 16 people didn't answer on that message. And it could be anybody that is mine, it could be anybody that is not mine, it could be me. And I think people who are living in Novi Sad or who are from Novi Sad cannot and never will forgive this.
The Sons of the Balkans project team last visited Novi Sad a year ago, almost immediately after the tragedy at the train station. That was when we met the creators of O Radio. Although it operates under the umbrella of the public media in Vojvodina, the youth radio station has been reporting on the protests for the past year, even when other public media outlets have remained silent about the important events. We are now meeting again our friends Predrag Novkovic and Klara Krajnc to discuss what happened to them over the past year.
This year it was very hard for O Radio because we are part of public service of Vojvodina, and at our public service, especially television, they are not working professional. We don't have any censorship or something like that during this period, but it was very hard to work because our management didn't want to give us some contracts with young people, with students. And our radio, it's very hard for our radio to make program for young people without young people.
We don't have freedom to make articles, to make reports about student protests, university blockades, because we don't have young people in our radio. They decided to move to other jobs. Some of them left journalism at all.
We had the blockade of our public service.
Radio, television,
yes, students came to our building and blocked the building because they wasn't satisfied with informations that are coming out from our public service.
Mainly from the first channel of television, which is on Serbian language, and they didn't satisfied with those news from the first channel.
At our program, we trying to have every topic what is interesting for young people still, and we are covering protests, we are covering the students' blockade, not on the daily level, but that's the main topic for us, of course, because that's the main topic at the moment for all young people in Serbia.
We were outside with them. At the first protest in front of our building. I was one of the people who spoke. On every Friday, we're going in front of our building of Radio Television Vojvodina, and we have one black flag as remembrance for the 16 people who tragically died at the Novi Sad railway station at the 1st of November last year.
It happened on Friday,
and
so
it happened on Friday, and every Friday we're going in front of our building, and we have that black flag, and we're staying in silence for 16 minutes. There are so many people from other media who are included in public service of Vojvodina who are things the same like us, and they know what is happening. They still have some kind of fear.
I feel like in public service at the moment everyone is waiting what will happen. I learned from last year that every day is a new day, and you cannot imagine what can happen tomorrow, and you have to wait and see what will happen. At one market last year at students' campus, I went there and I bought some lucky cookies, you know, and I had one sticker there. I think that's I have it on my fridge today. I think that's a very good one. It said patience give us big things.
A year has passed since the roof collapsed at the railway station in Novi Sad. Since then, hundreds of thousands of people have been taking to the streets of Serbia, calling for someone to take responsibility. The story is not over yet. On the anniversary of the tragedy, according to the news reports, the largest demonstration ever is being prepared in Serbia. Many people say they cannot give up because the movement that has grown out of the ground over the past year is the beginning of something new.